You are listening to the Empath Now Podcast. Be sure to go to empathnow.com and sign up for the free Empath Now Empowerment Source. The Empath Now Empowerment Source is full of free tools and resources to help you become more empowered as an empath. This is your host, Tara McGillicuddy. Hello and welcome back to the Empath Now Podcast. In this episode, I am going to be discussing the topic of dealing with draining people when you are an empath. But before I begin talking about this week's topic, I would like to remind all my listeners that the Empath Now Book Club begins on September 10th. And this is a free online book club. You can learn more about the book club by going to empathbookclub.com. That's empathbookclub.com. And if you happen to come across this episode after September 10th, you can still sign up and learn more about the book club. So this week, as I said, I'm going to be talking about dealing with draining people when you are an empath. And this is a very common issue or challenge for those of us who are empaths. And there are some techniques like bringing in your energy, maybe using crystals, doing clearings that can be helpful. But what I know is really key is developing and having healthy and effective boundaries when you're an empath. And as an empath, I think we hear that term boundaries a lot. We're told it's important to have healthy boundaries. It's important to have effective boundaries. But for some of us, we just kind of hear that word boundary or boundaries, and it doesn't really click. We don't really go any further than just saying, okay, I have to have boundaries. I should have boundaries. So what I'm going to talk about today is what it means to have healthy and effective boundaries as an empath. This is one of the most important ways you can protect yourself and deal with people who may drain you. And yeah, some of these people are what is referred to in the empath community as energy vampires. I mean, some of them are not nice people. Some of them are here and are taking advantage of you. But there are so many more that are friends, that are family, that are just people who feel comfortable around you, who feel safe, who feel understood. And because you're an empath, because you're a sensitive person, they just feel good about themselves. It's very helpful for them when they talk to you, when they're in your presence, when they're going through a tough time. And understanding and dealing with these types of people is just as important as understanding how to deal with the narcissists, the energy vampires, or anybody else. And having healthy and effective boundaries is helpful whether you're dealing with a nice person or a not so nice person, whoever this person is. So what are boundaries? I mean, they're basically something put in place to protect us. And a lot of empaths go one or two ways, and sometimes it's combined depending on the situation. There are empaths that really don't have a lot of boundaries in place and have trouble saying no, just feel the need, or I don't even know if it's a need, just help people no matter what. They're here. We believe, or they believe, that we're here to help make the world a better place. We're here to save everyone, fix everyone, help everyone. And for a lot of us who are empaths, yes, we are light workers, we're helpers, we're human service workers, teachers, healers, mental health professionals, coaches, whatever, people who are here to help people and make the world a better place. But in order to do that, and to do that effectively, we have to take care of ourselves first. We have to protect our energy so we have enough energy, to help people, so we don't get sick, so we stay healthy. And then the other type of empath, and I got to tell you, I can relate to this one, is we have effective boundaries, but our boundaries are too strict, too tight. We kind of put up a moat and keep everyone out, or keep almost everyone out. And yeah, doing that is effective in a lot of situations, and yes, it keeps us safe, it keeps people away, but we really can't do what we're meant to do, what we want to do. So healthy and effective boundaries, combining both of those two. And what can happen a lot of times with the empaths is empaths have a history of letting people walk all over them, but not putting up boundaries with enough people, not having tight enough boundaries. And we get hurt. We are drained. So we go to that other extreme where, we put up the bridges, the moats, we keep everyone away, and it keeps us safe to an extent, but that's not healthy. So how do you start putting up healthy boundaries? And the thing is, it's something that if you're listening to this in your 40s, 50s, 60s, it may be uncomfortable to start putting up boundaries around with people. It's something that takes practice, it may be an uneasy feeling to do it, and you may have people in your life that aren't very happy about it. It may not be nice to you at first, or they may cut you out of their lives at first, but stay with it. All right, so what are some ways to develop boundaries with people? And getting back to the draining people, some of them may be people that you love, you enjoy spending time with when they're not complaining to you or talking about the latest catastrophe or drama in their own life. So pay attention to, in your life, what are the situations where you felt drained around people, the draining people, the ones who are negative or who are just talking about all their problems or just complaining about life. So limiting time with these people can be very helpful. And each person's going to be different. You might spend 2 minutes with a certain person and that's enough. That's okay. It might be somebody that you spend 30 minutes with, 2 hours with, but pay attention. And maybe even if you realize that, on average, I can spend 2 hours with somebody before I'm spent. Maybe the next time you spend time with that person or a new person comes into your life, start with 90 minutes, an hour. Keep it short. And what can be helpful in some situations when you're with somebody that drains your energy is sometimes having somebody else with you. I know I have people in my life. I have a great friend, someone I've been friends with since elementary school. She's a sweet, kind-hearted person. But if I spend too long with her by myself, I'm drained. So having somebody else there to kind of protect you, not only energetically, but also to kind of steer the conversation. So setting time limits. And these are, people who've been in your life for a while, and there might be somebody coming to mind right now. But we also have new people who enter our lives, and some of these people, they're the type that you see in the grocery store and they just walk up to you and start telling you problems. But a lot of these people, especially new friends, new coworkers, new romantic interests, these are people, when they start out in your life, they're usually very happy. They're often not telling you their problems right away because they're building up trust with you. They're getting to know you. So a lot of these people aren't going to start complaining, start venting, start telling you their problems right away. So these are the people where it might be good to limit the time you spend with them to begin with. Somebody new comes into your life. They may be fun, they may be exciting, might be lifting you up, but still be proactive and limit the amount of time you spend with them. And like I was saying before about the people who are already in your life, you're going to have to see what time frame works best for you. And also being your best around these people. So before you go to work, before you meet up with someone, before you answer the phone, practice self-care. Make sure you've eaten. Make sure you've exercised. Make sure you've gotten enough sleep, because it's really important to be at your best. So how do you limit time? I mean, it sounds easier. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Some of these people, it can be really hard to walk away from. I mean, one that's very simple is getting up and going to the bathroom. Say, excuse me, go to the bathroom, take a couple minute break, come back. I mean, if it's really awful being around these people, leave. Have something, say that you have an appointment to get to. And you're not really lying. If you're leaving to be by yourself and practice self-care and de-stress, that's an appointment with yourself. That's not lying. So also redirecting the conversation. And it's funny, I've never been the type of person when somebody says hi to me saying, oh, how are you? It used to be like, oh, that's not good social skills. It's not proper social skills when you don't say, hi, how are you? But what you can do, you can be polite, you can have social skills. Don't ask the questions, because you're going to get that person that's going to tell you how they are, and you don't want to hear it. So, hi, have a great day. Nice to see you. You can still put something in there that's helpful, that's socially acceptable, that's nice, that's polite, but you don't have to ask the question, because, how was your weekend? How was your family? Have a great weekend. Oh, or if you want to ask a question, ask somebody like, oh, what's your favorite movie? Something that is going to get a positive response, hopefully. I mean, there are some people that you can ask them their favorite color and it'll turn into everything sucks, I hate everyone. But redirecting conversations and getting back to getting up and leaving. Oh, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. Excuse me, I need to take a break or whatever. And then getting back to limiting. I mean, if you're on the phone with somebody, yes, it might be hard at first. It might seem rude, but if somebody is just draining you and complaining and you're physically feeling sick, your head, your stomach, your body's tightening up, hang up. In this day and age, our cell phones for the most part are still work well, but you always have that. There's always that chance you get cut off the call. I mean, it's, if at all possible, be polite, be nice. But if somebody is making you ill and you're not, and you feel sick, just get off the phone. Just leave the situation. If you're in a group and you're just not feeling well, get up and leave. Leave the situation, leave the party, leave the event, but call right away. Call somebody there. Send a text right away and just say, oh, I wasn't feeling well, I need to leave. I mean, there are things that, if at all possible, be proactive, be polite, have manners, be, socially acceptable. But in situations, if you're about to have a panic attack or make yourself sick, get out of the situation. But boundaries, like I said a little while ago, it can be uncomfortable to begin them. There might be some repercussions, some consequences. People, if you all of a sudden go from being nice to everyone and having no boundaries to all of a sudden saying, okay, I'm going to leave, or no, you're going to have some repercussions. There's going to be some uneasiness. But if those people are meant to be in your life, they're going to come around. And if you have good boundaries, effective, healthy boundaries with people, the majority of the time you're going to be okay around these people. And when there's something crazy going on in your own life, or you're choosing to help somebody that is going through a tough time in their life, you're going to be better equipped. You're going to be healthier. You're going to be able to deal with these people better. So I hope this gave you some ideas of how better boundaries. And there are whole books written on this. There are people that do complete classes on this. A short podcast is only the beginning, but what I do want to let you know is what I'm adding, or what I've added to the Empath Now Empowerment Source, is a tip sheet for boundaries. Because this is something that it would be good to have written down, to have with you printed out. So empathnow.com, sign up for the Empath Now Empowerment Source. If you're already signed up, just go to the link and it'll be there for you to download. And reminder that the Empath Now Book Club begins on September 10th. You can go to empathbookclub.com. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Empath Now Podcast. If you have not done so already, be sure to stop by empathnow.com and sign up for the free Empath Now Empowerment Source. The Empath Now Empowerment Source is full of free tools and resources to help you live a more empowered life as an empath. And remember, you as an empath have the power and control within you to make the changes to live a happy and empowered life.